I'll be showing my top 20 tips and tricks for OneNote. I work at Microsoft and I worked on the OneNote team a long time and I'm really into purple. I've got my purple cardigan, my OneNote shirt, I've even got a OneNote cape. Now, OneNote Desktop has been rejuvenated as part of Office 365. So I'll be talking about OneNote Desktop and also pointing out which things are in OneNote for Windows 10 as well. So let's get started. The first tip is recording audio with built-in timestamps. And also I want to point out, I'm in the OneNote Desktop that's been upgraded and revitalized because OneNote Desktop is coming back. This is the new Office UI, the beautiful purple on the top. The new UI here is a little more rounded. So the first tip is inserting audio. To do that, I'm going to record audio and take notes. So go to the Insert menu and click Record Audio. Now it's recording as I'm taking notes. So here's me taking notes. I'll hit Enter. This is a really important point. So I want to make sure to capture it. Hit Enter one more time. Here's the end of my notes. Now when I'm done, I go up here and click Stop. Now what's cool is I can record the audio. So here's where it was recorded. I can double click to play.
Now it's recording as I'm taking notes.
So I can go forwards here, backwards and whatnot. That's pretty nice, but watch how it highlights the audio as I go through. So this little hover here, I'll click play.
So here's me taking notes. I'll hit Enter.
And see it
this
highlights.
This is a really important point.
Automatically.
So make sure to capture it. Here's the end of my notes.
So it follows along with the audio in time synchronization. Really slick. We do support recording audio in Windows 10. It doesn't have the time sync like you have in OneNote Desktop right here. The second tip is copying text directly out of photos or images. So here's an example. I've taken a photo of a Harry Potter page and I'm going to click on the photo and then right click and choose copy text from picture. And using OCR, which will happen automatically, I can extract that text. So choose copy text from picture. Now I'm just going to click directly next to the picture and do Control V to paste. And it extracts all of that text right out of the image. Super handy and a big time saver. And related, you can even search the text of a picture automatically. So here we have an image and it says Harry in the image here. In the upper right, I'm going to click and I'm just going to type Harry. And immediately, check that out, it highlighted Harry in the image and it highlighted Harry in the image here. This feature is also available in the Windows 10 app. It takes about a day for the service to process, so it's a bit slower. In the desktop right here, it happens within seconds of pasting the image. The third tip is one of my very favorites. It is the Print to OneNote feature. This allows me to print any type of document or file directly into OneNote and then annotate or type right on top of it. It's like you have digital paper. What I'll do is go to the Insert menu here and choose File Printout. This opens up the File menu and I'm going to scroll down and choose my Solar System PowerPoint deck. So I'm going to print the slides of the PowerPoint directly onto the page. Click Insert. What you can see is that it has printed every single slide onto this page. So my beautiful Solar System deck is now on a big digital piece of paper in OneNote. And I can go in here and I can double click and I can take notes on top of it. I can do draw menu, so I can go here and I can go and circle certain things and I can do whatever I want. This is basically like digital paper. And this is especially interesting in the education scenario where you might want to have lots of taking notes right on top of slides. I can print anything into OneNote. As an example, I'll show the browser printing. Here's a blog article and maybe I want to print this whole thing out into OneNote just like digital paper. If I go to the three-dot menu in my browser and just choose Print, now it has Print Preview, and go over to the printer and instead of doing your normal tree-killing paper printer, instead, in this case, I'll choose the OneNote Desktop printer. If you're using Windows 10, it'll pull up the OneNote Windows 10 printer and then choose Print. What it will do is pull OneNote to the forefront and say, hey, where do you want to put this into OneNote? I'm just going to leave it on this current page and I'll click OK. And immediately it put that entire printout right here into OneNote. And again, this is now like digital paper and I can go in and do whatever I want right on top of it. That same OneNote printer works in Word or Excel. You can literally print anything you want into OneNote. The fourth tip is setting any picture to the background in OneNote, which will let you type or ink right on top of it. So back to our Harry Potter example, I've got a snapshot of a Harry Potter page. I'm just going to paste right here onto my OneNote page. Now normally once it's here, if I want to type on it, it's kind of tricky sometimes. I just want it to be like a digital background that I can scribble on top of. So click once to select the picture, then right click and then choose Set Picture as Background. Now it is totally set to the background of the page. So I can go here, for example, on draw, and maybe I want to do stuff right on top of it, do some underlines in red pen. I can also go and click and type on top of it. So right here, if I go click, I can type, and now I can type on it. And I can highlight this, and maybe I can make it red and make it really big. So again, this just lets you put that picture to the background, and then you can do whatever you want on top of it. This feature is also supported in OneNote for Windows 10 as well as iPad. The fifth tip is Outlook meeting integration with OneNote. Now I'm here in the desktop, and this also works in the Windows 10 app as well. But on the Home tab, I'm going to go over to Meeting Details and click to drop this down. This pulls all the meetings in Outlook from my calendar, which I have going today, and I'm going to choose the one that I want to take meeting notes on. We have a TPS report planning meeting, so I'll click this. This pulls in all the information from that Outlook meeting in my calendar. So the meeting subject, the date, the location, even the link back to the Outlook item if I want to open that meeting. It also pulls in the attachments. So I've got a Word doc and a PowerPoint about our TPS report planning. And then who are the participants? So we have Kara, Bill Lumberg, Alex, and Ella. And then I have a place I can take notes. If I just click right down here, this is really handy if you're just late to a meeting, you want to get up and running and make sure you have the link back to it, pull in all this information, and you're ready to go. The sixth tip is a nice one that goes in conjunction with meeting details, and that is emailing a page. So let's say I've had my meeting here and I finished all the notes and I've taken notes, and I want to send this out in an email. From the Home tab, I can go over here to say email a page, and I'm going to click this. This opens up an Outlook email automatically. It puts it to all the right people. It inserts the attachments that were on the page. All the meeting notes are right here below, and it's ready to send off. So again, this is just a big time saver. The seventh tip is the Immersive Reader. The Immersive Reader is an inclusively designed tool that helps make reading more accessible. I'm personally a big fan because I work on the Immersive Reader myself. So I'm in the Windows 10 app right now, and I'm going to go to the View menu, and you're going to choose Immersive Reader. What you see is we've reduced distractions on the page. At the bottom, I can hit the play button.
The study of Earth's landforms is called physical geography.
We have text-to-speech, word and line highlighting. I can go and change the way the page looks. So with text preferences, I can make the text much bigger. I can increase line spacing because that can help reduce visual crowding. I can change the background colors. Some people prefer reading with different background colors. I can even change the fonts. I click on grammar options. I can break words into syllables with a single click like this. I can highlight the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, all sorts of parts of speech. I can even customize those colors if I'd like. As you can see, it's very personalized. And we'll make the text a little bit smaller and choose a different color. Lastly, if I go to reading preferences here, I can turn on line focus. This can help focus my eyes so I can read one line at a time and I can still read aloud.
Glaciers or rivers.
And I can choose 1 line or 3 lines or 5 lines. I can turn that off. And lastly, I can translate in over 110 languages. So in this case, I'm going to choose Spanish. I'll choose document, and let's listen to this read out loud in Spanish.
El estudio de los accidentes geográficos de la Tierra se llama.
So really powerful tool that's built in and inclusive. It's part of the OneNote for Windows 10 app. It's not built into OneNote Desktop, but in the near future, we will be rolling out an update to OneNote Desktop where this full Immersive Reader is built in, so watch for that. The eighth tip is Dictation, also known as speech to text. This is built into the OneNote for Windows 10 app, and on the Home tab right here, there is a Dictate button. I have many languages to choose from. You can see all of them here, but we're going to keep it in English right now, and I'll click Dictate and then start talking. Now I am dictating in the OneNote for Windows 10 app, period. Speech to text makes it really easy to write down your thoughts without having to use the keyboard, period. When you're done, just click the Dictate button again to turn it off. Dictate is not built in by default to the OneNote Desktop app, but this is going to be coming in the future, so stay tuned and watch out for updates in the desktop app for OneNote. The ninth tip is moving your page tabs on the right over to the left-hand side. This can make your OneNote Desktop look a bit more like the Windows 10 app. A lot of people like to have notebooks and pages on the left. So if I go to the File menu here, go down at the bottom and choose Options. Now go to Display, and then choose Page Tabs appear on the left right here and hit OK. Now the page tabs are over on the left. Now if I open up here and click this notebook, And then pin, the notebook picker is pinned. So now I can have the sections here and the pages on the left. And again, for the people who like to have everything left, just like in OneNote for Windows 10, and I'll quickly show you that. Here's Windows 10. I have the pages and the sections. There's my notebook picker. I can have that similar in the desktop, just like this. The 10th tip is tags. It's nice to be able to tag your things in OneNote to be able to find them later. OneNote is great for organizing and getting things all figured out. So I have some notes here. Maybe I want to go click here and add a tag. There's a tags drop down here. Let's drop this down. Maybe that is a question. And maybe I'm going to click here and maybe I want to have a to-do tag, so I can choose to-do. And this is a little checkbox here, a little to-do checkbox. What's also nice is I can add custom tags. So if I drop this down, go down to the bottom here and choose custom tags. This lets me go to new tag. And now I'm going to give this one Mike's special tag. I can choose my own symbol. There's lots of symbols. I'll choose a little pin. And maybe I want all of these to be in red font and highlighted with a dark black. That's going to look funny. Hit OK. Now Mike's special tag is at the top and it even has a Control-1. If I want to have a shortcut, hit OK. Now I have this take notes right here. I'm going to go and click Mike's special tag, and you see now it is black with the red font and a pin. The other handy thing is I can find tags anywhere. So click Find Tags. It's going to search all of my notebooks in this case and find all the different tags. And if I click on one of these, it'll jump me. So if I click on list item number 3, hey, it jumps me to this little list item where I had this music note tag. Or if I go click here, it takes me back to the page where I have make sure to follow up. So this is a really nice way to jump around your notebook. And these features are also in the OneNote for Windows 10 app. The 11th tip is page versions and recycle bin. Sometimes you find in OneNote, oh, I deleted a page, or gosh, I swear I had some text on that page. I can't find it anymore. Maybe I deleted it on accident. If I go to the History tab in the desktop, right here you're going to see Notebook Recycle Bin. And if I click this, this is like a trash bin for things that you've had. Oh, so here's a couple pages that I deleted. I deleted a page about tags. So if I want to put this back, it just says right-click a page or section to move it out of the recycle bin. So I can just go here, choose Move or Copy, and maybe I want to move that page back into my Research section, click Move, and there I just got that out of my recycle bin. I can also empty my recycle bin or even disable history if I don't want any recycle bin. This feature also exists in the OneNote for Windows 10 app. Related to history is page versions. Let's say I want to find an old version. Maybe I updated a page a couple months ago and I'm like, oh no, there was important information I forgot. Can I go back in time and find that? Page versions on the History tab lets you do that. So here's a page of meeting notes. If I click on page versions, you're going to see, oh, on April 3rd, there was an old version. The older version here, if I click here, oh, it's a different meeting that has some different people like Arden Asher. Oh, the meeting notes were different too. So this was the older version of this page that I updated. So if I want to restore that, it says click here to restore this as the main version. So I can click this and say restore version. And now it put this back as that main page. But it also kept the older version, the one that I worked on just before in this video where I had my nice little pin down there. So it kept the newer version and the older version both. So page versions can get you out of a jam if you inadvertently got rid of old things. And if you drop this down, you can say delete all the versions in the section, clear out my entire notebook. So if I found the page that I need, I'm just going to say delete all versions, choose yes, and there, they're all cleaned up. So this is the only version left right now for this one. The 12th tip is Teams and Office integration and finding your notebooks. I'm here in Teams, and first I want to find all my OneNote notebooks from within the OneNote app in Teams. Go over here to the three-dot menu and then search for OneNote. Here it is, click. And I'm going to right-click on OneNote and pin it in Teams on the app bar. Now by default, it pulls up my personal notebooks right here. If I click the little notebook expander, you can see I'm in my projects notebook. If I click this, I can see all of my other personal notebooks. And this could also include class notebooks if you're in education or a student using this. If I go up to Teams, it'll show the shared team notebooks I'm part of. So right here, you can see that I have my planning notebook as well as my PLC notebook. And if I just click here, it'll drill me right into that notebook. I also have recent notebooks and things that I visited recently. So here are all the different notebooks that I have that I visited. So this is just a nice way to navigate between all the different notebooks you have. There's a similar type of structure on office.com, so let's look over there. I'm signed in to office.com, and on the left, I'm going to click OneNote. This brings up the landing page, and you can see all of my recent notebooks. If I've pinned some of these, see how you can pin by clicking the pin. I can pin a couple notebooks, so here are 2 that I've pinned. My notebooks are the same as personal notebooks in Teams. If people have shared notebooks with you, they'll show up here. If you're an educator or a student and you're part of class notebooks, we have specific labels there, so I click. And here are all my class notebooks. And if I want to create a new notebook, I just click this button right here. The 13th tip is copying links to pages, sections, or notebooks. So let's say I've got this meeting notes page here. I'm going to right click and I can choose copy link to page. We'll click here. Now I'll go to my research section and I'm going to paste this link. So now I have the meeting notes link. If I click this link, see how it jumps me right back to that meeting notes page. I can also link to different sections. So I've got OneNote tips here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose copy link to section. Go back to my research here. I'm going to go down here and this is going to be paste. Now I've got a link to the section, takes me right to OneNote tips. I can even link to notebooks. So right click on any notebook like this, choose copy link to notebook, go back to where you were and just do paste. Here is my link to the real world samples notebook. If I click this, it jumps me right to that notebook. So what this allows you to do is create hyperlinks through your notes. Again, you can be incredibly efficient when you're putting links. You can also paste these links into email or in a Teams message if you have a shared notebook. Right now, this notebook isn't shared with anyone, so in this case, I would just link across my own notebook. This also works in the OneNote for Windows 10 app. The 14th tip is full screen mode. So let's say I've got my set of slides here and I want to really focus and take notes on these. I want to get rid of all the other interface UI. I can go into the upper right and click full screen. So if I click this, all the UI disappears. Now I'm full screen. Now if I need to access things in the upper right, I can still drop this down and hey, here are all my notebooks, sections, and pages. So it's really nice to be able to focus here, still access things and change pages. And if I click the little 3-dot menu here, the menu pops down. So if I want to have my drawing or inking, things like that, if I click there, it goes away. So it's really nice to be able to just have focus for taking notes. If I click this again, everything comes back. This also works in the OneNote for Windows 10 app. The 15th tip is setting password protection on your sections in OneNote. So I've got my future TPS report. This is super top secret. No one can ever see this. So I'm going to right click on the section here and I'm going to go down and choose password protect this section. On the right hand side, the dialog opens and I'm going to choose set password and we'll give the password. TPS is my password. Don't tell anyone. Hit OK. Now this is all locked up. So I can lock it here and this is what it looks like. And the next time I reboot OneNote, anytime I switch over to this section, it's going to show this as a password protected section. So in this case, I'll go here and click, and then I'll type in my TPS password. Again, don't tell anyone that. Hit OK, and it will unlock the section. This also works in the OneNote for Windows 10 app. The 16th tip is collapsing an outline. This is a nice little trick in OneNote that not a lot of people know about. So I've got a big outline list of things here, and I want to collapse that. If I hover, you're going to see this little arrow here. If I double click it, it collapses the entire outline just like this. Same thing here. If I hover the top, I double click and it's collapsed. And if I want to open it back up, just go over the plus, double click, and then on the plus, double click. There you go. This also works in the OneNote for Windows 10 app. The 17th tip is page, sections, and notebook colors. Now I want to change the color of my page right here. If I go to the view menu, I drop down page color and you have a bunch of choices. So maybe I want to make it pink or yellow. You can choose the different colors that you want. It's really easy to change. Now maybe I also want to change the section colors here, which will also change the pages here. So maybe I want to right click on research and make this yellow. So I'll choose yellow. Now everything's yellow. And then if I want to change the notebook color, I can open this. Let's pin it. Let's right click on microtips and choose the color to yellow. Choose properties. Drop down the color here, choose yellow, and then OK. This also works in the OneNote for Windows 10 app. The 18th tip are my favorite OneNote keyboard shortcuts. So the first one is select a list of items here, do Control/, and you get numbers immediately. If I do Control period, it turns them into bullets. Another one is Control E to search, so Control E will open up the search dialog up there. To make a table, just type one word, then hit Tab, and it makes a table. If I type header number 2, hit tab, there's another one, and then control enter, I can make my table just like that. And perhaps my favorite shortcut of all, if I want to move any item in a table or a list like this, let's say I want to move list item 5 up to the top, instead of selecting it, control X, control V, all that stuff, I just select the item, do alt shift up arrow, and it moves, and just keep hitting the up arrow and it goes up, up, up to the top, and then move it back down, alt shift down, 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 down. You will impress your friends with that one, guaranteed. This also works in the OneNote for Windows 10 app. The 19th tip is Outlook mail and meeting integration. Now I'm in Outlook and I've got an email from Bill Lumberg about the virtual TPS report strategy offsite. So I've selected the mail here and there is a OneNote button right here, and I want to send this mail right into OneNote to track it better. So I'll click here. It pops up the little location dialog picker, and now I'm just going to choose where to put it. And I'm going to open up my micro tips and I'm going to put it into research. So click OK. This immediately sends a copy of the mail plus the attachment as a new page into my research section in OneNote. I can also do something similar with meetings. If I go into my calendar here in OneNote, I'm going to open up my TPS report planning meeting, and you can see a meeting notes button right here. So if I click this, I have the option to share notes with the meeting or take notes on my own. So this is just for myself. I'll click take notes on your own. Similarly, it opens up the location dialog for OneNote. I'm going to choose the meeting notes area here. So here's my meeting notes section. Click OK. And in a similar way, it automatically creates a new page with all the details, the attachments, the participants, and a new page right there. The 20th tip is section groups. Section groups allow you to create more structure beyond your normal section tabs in OneNote. So I've got all my research and my meeting notes and other things. Maybe I want to create an archive area where I can drag old sections into. Just right click right here and choose new section group, and I'll type archive and enter. Now I can do things like move my best shortcuts. I'm going to drag this into the archive section group and drop it. And that is a little subfolder. And right here you can use the arrow to navigate up. Now what I like to do to visualize this better is click on the notebook picker here and pin this. And now you can expand and see the little section group, just like this. So now a class notebook, which is made up of a lot of section groups, if I expand this, there are a bunch of section groups, and you can really get a sense of how these little hierarchies are created. And it's really easy to drag stuff. So I want to drag my meeting notes right here into archive. I just click and drag. Now I've got these, and if I want to collapse it to get out of the way, I can do that as well. This feature also exists in OneNote for Windows 10. Here's OneNote for Windows 10. I can just right click right here and say new section group. We'll call it archive again, and I create a new section in here. And it works in a very similar way. You can expand and collapse. For those of you that made it past the 20th tip, this is my top secret bonus tip and one of my very favorites that a lot of people in OneNote don't know about, and it's actually existed since about the year 2007. So let's say I've got a bunch of names right here, and I want to be able to create a page for each of these people. Maybe we're doing a feedback collection section, maybe you're an educator, but instead of saying, you know what, creating one page and typing each name, watch this tip. Right click, then choose link to pages, and this is going to create a page for each person automatically with a link to it. So click here, it blasts all these pages immediately, and note that all of these little links exist. So if I click on Evelyn, it takes me right to her page. So it's almost created a little table of contents page, and if I do this to add bullets, now I'm all set. If you found this video useful, give it a like. Now if you want to keep up with all the latest videos I'll be releasing, subscribe to my channel and then just ring the bell to keep notified for all the latest posts.